Virgo, welcome to your January 2020 reading. For this reading, I was really drawn to this stunning Labradorite Angel. Labradorite is a stone of transformation. It brings us perseverance, it strengthens intuition, helps us to ground our spiritual energy, so incredibly helpful in terms of manifestation, because it kind of gives us that spiritual insight whilst rooting us in a place of, I guess being shown the insights that we need to make those visions real. So very powerful little angel, absolutely stunning. I have to say it's got a very electric energy sitting in my hand. So Virgo, welcome. I'm just going to put it up here to oversee our reading. Virgo, welcome. Anyone that is already part of this extraordinary and amazing community, thank you. I have just been reading through some comments and looking at the way you guys are not only sharing your journey, but my goodness me, the way you support one another, your liking of one another's comments, the support you give to people. I mean, I am blown away. A community is exactly that. It's a community of people. It's never just... this is not just my channel, it's our community. And that is really, really coming through in the way that you are commenting, supporting each other and sharing your journeys. I am absolutely in awe of all of you. Truly, guys, it's a privilege to read for you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this. So, guys, massive year ahead. Oh, before I go into the massive year ahead, actually welcome anyone new. If you're new to my readings, I'm Jenny Florence. Welcome to our community. Guys, do please consider joining us. I hope that the readings will kind of resonate with you. I do monthly readings, I do weekly readings, and I put a lot of free stuff into the world. I give a free private reading to one of my subscribers every month, so do check out the information box below. And also, January, I'm just going to say, guys, is a big month for me. The Art of Manifestation Oracle cards will go live, and I will be holding a few packs back. It's a limited edition run as a first run, and I'll be holding a few packs back, and at the end of January I'll be drawing names out of a hat and giving those packs to subscribers. So guys, just watch out for the announcements. So now, big month, because it is a huge month, a huge year. But January really kicks us off with power. 7th of January, Saturn conjunct Pluto. These two major players have been edging closer and closer towards one another throughout the last year, indeed a bit longer, and they are calling for us to let go of anything that no longer serves, to restructure, to reorganize. That is followed on the 10th of January by a full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. So very powerful time, because the eclipse seasons are, it's like intensified lunar energy. I mean, for anyone wanting to know more about that, you can sort of check in with the Art of Manifestation Astro Moon Diary. But let me just put that to one side. So I'll draw on the astrology as we do the reading if it feels appropriate, and it often does. We're going to draw runes first. Wonderful, guys. What a start to the year, along with Labradorite. We have the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. This is walking that pathway of spiritual experience. I mean, manifestation, to my mind, if we're really successful at it, is down to our ability to, it's like to be able to listen to the calling of our soul and to connect to a higher spiritual pathway and actually ground that and ground it into real life, to connect it into our journey of manifestation, higher visions, and but sort of connected to realness at the same time. This is really in tune with this beautiful Labradorite Angel. That one's literally calling to be released. Berkana. the rune of growth. As a new year, do you know, I'm astonished how many readings that they're all obviously incredibly different, but I'm astonished that this rune keeps showing up. There's so much opportunity this year for growth. But this is new beginnings. It's not growth that's in midstream. It doesn't mean it's that you haven't yet started, but it's new beginnings, new opportunities, new possibilities, new ventures, new phases in life, new chapters. Very appropriate for a January reading. We have another rune that's lent itself, it's literally come out of the bag on its own, the Rune of Movement. This rune speaks of the bettering of any situation. It connects into the perseverance of Labradorite. Stone of transformation. These three together are about transformation on your spiritual pathway, following your calling, manifestation. The Rune of Movement sometimes speaks of it sometimes literally can mean the moving of dwelling places, jobs, careers, transitions, but generally speaking, it's about the bettering of any situation, and it also speaks of what I would call slow, steady progress. Again, that lovely energy of perseverance where we just, it's not plodding, there's not a plodding about it, but it's like we invest. That's the right energy, and that's what I'm hearing. We invest, and as we invest, it's like something gathers momentum. That's the energy, and that's, excuse me, that's actually what I'm hearing. That's the flavour of this reading. Let's draw some more runes. Rune of Journey. That's interesting. Rune of Possessions and Rune of Separation. I think that's all. Oh, actually, do you know there may be another? Yes, there is. And Rune of Strength. Terminations, new beginnings. Wow, guys, these are telling a very powerful story. So what I'm hearing is new beginnings, new opportunities. It feels like a whole new phase in life, whatever that means for each of you in your own unique ways, on your own unique pathways. It's whatever the phase is and however this manifests, it's connecting into you becoming increasingly attuned to your spiritual pathway, to the pathway of the warrior. Now, this rune indicates the Rune of Movement, the bettering of any situation. So, and as I said, it's like an investment in yourselves. That's what I'm hearing, which produces gradual, steady progress that gathers momentum. Now, the Rune of Journey, for some people, it literally can mean a journey. If it was a personal reading, I might be kind of checking that out and drawing additional cards for this. But it more often than not connects to our internal journey. It's like the journeying that we can do within meditation, where things become apparent to us. We get those light bulb moments. The rune of possessions, this is nourishment from the worldly to the divine. This is things coming to you. This is things emerging, things being gifted. I almost want to say, open your arms and allow yourselves to receive. However, and it's not a negative however, the Rune of Journey says, actually, as we journey inwards, as we connect to ourselves at a level of soul, we slowly and gradually, and then increasingly in terms of momentum, we notice the blocks that we ourselves carry within us that stop us from manifesting our desires. And so this rune simply says, remove any obstacles simply one by one as they appear. There's no negativity in it. It's like a rune of opportunity, and it's like you just go a layer deeper, a layer deeper, a layer deeper, and the universe Source energy offers you this possibility. This is January, so very powerful time. Transformation is the biggie, stone of transformation. No wonder I was really connecting into this powerful electric, little angel. Did not mean to knock him off his perch, so to speak. So possessions, nourishment, things coming to you. And then we have the rune of Othilla, separation. This rune speaks of a need to let go of something. You've outgrown something. It can be a way of life, it can be a way of being, it can be an attitude. For some people it can even mean real property, like moving house. But you are needing to let go of something. And it is something to which you have had an emotional tie. And it is also something that, however it used to be, it worked really, really well for you. It was right and proper as it was. But it's like you've outgrown it. You've shed your skin, or you're shedding your skin. This is a month of skin shedding, removing any obstacles, removing any blocks. So much growth and possibility, tuning into your spiritual energy and literally grounding it, so that you can begin to process experiences, make decisions accordingly. But it's really about being in tune with yourselves at a level of soul, and listening to that and letting go of anything that there's something. What I'm actually hearing with you guys, it feels like a specific something. Could be a belief, or an attitude, or for some of you it could be a career, a job, a dwelling place. For others it's less sort of concrete or factual. For some of you, for more of you, it's to do with either an attitude, a belief, some kind of a resistance within you. But there's something that needs to be let go of. I'm thinking that you probably already know what that is. And I think for some of you that's going to flow with ease, and for others there's going to be a little bit more resistance around it. But wonderful. Energy of strength, terminations, new beginnings. Really powerful. This is like the universe has your back. It's like there is purpose to this. The universe is calling you to grow. Energy is available for transformation. Perseverance, don't wobble, I'm hearing as well, don't wobble. Be interesting to see how our cards connect in with that. So we have our lovely runes, we'll put them up here, line them up with our angel. Stunning, stunning energy. I can literally feel it. So that's interesting, isn't it? I've like the hairs on my body are standing on end. So that's a pretty powerful connection to the energy of these. I always feel very gifted to do readings, because I get to experience the energy of them, which is often like I'm bathing in it. This doesn't feel like a bathing, curiously enough. There's not a relaxedness about it. It's not a lounging bathing. I feel like it's more like a shower than a bath, okay? That's like a power shower? That's the energy of this. That's a really good way of describing what I'm experiencing. Yeah, what do you guys want to manifest? The Magician. This is all about manifestation, making it real, following your soul. Yeah, and you are having to let go of something, and you're needing to be tactful about it, okay? Yeah, you're needing to be tactful. Either somebody around you isn't being entirely honest with you, or I'm going to say and it's not a negative, curiously enough. I can't, it doesn't ever feel right to say it's okay to be dishonest, but there are times when it's appropriate to be tactful. If we were so direct, we could crush someone. And this feels as though you are needing to, as I said, either somebody around you, and for some of you I think someone around you isn't being entirely honest, but for others, either way actually, you are needing to be mindful, be tactful. Don't reveal all to everyone. Just be thoughtful. There may even be some aspect of, I want to say, competition around you. You're needing to be thoughtful or like to guard something in some way. It's not that you're wanting to be secretive. It really doesn't have that energy about it. It's almost that you're just invited to be thoughtful about who you share what with. It's to do with boundaries, and it's also it's energy boundaries. I'm hearing this really clearly. So the message that's being given, it's an energy boundary. It's like if we have an idea and we share it with everyone, it dissipates the energy. Even if people are really curious and they want to know and they're really interested, the energy of the ability for something to gather momentum, it dissipates, and not everybody will see your idea or your whatever it is, whatever aspect of your life it is. Some people won't see it in the way that you do, and I'm going to say the way that it is. People hold all kinds of perceptions about the way things should or shouldn't be, and you're being asked to be very, very centered. This is the journey inwards as well. The journey inwards allows you to understand where you truly sit with this in terms of your own pathway as a spiritual warrior. Ace of Cups, new beginnings. Yep, energy is with you guys. It's like you walk through this door. You think about something. You get this guidance, or I think you already know what it is you want. A lot of you, I think, have with some signs, the energy around, obviously we're a mixture of lots, aren't we? But in this reading, it's like, I think you have a really clear idea of the kinds of things that resonate with you. It's like you've done enough work to have got this far. This is the growth, the new beginnings, the bettering of any situation, things gathering momentum. But there are still aspects of a way of being that are needing to be let go of. And I think that's challenging when we go through periods of accelerated growth. The people around us, sometimes it's not us that wobble, it's the people around us that wobble, because we're growing and we're moving and we could move on, and that's challenging for them. Relationships that are on a really solid ground, they will stay, they'll adjust, and they're going to stay with you. That's what I'm hearing through these transitions. But there will also be maybe some relationships that don't remain as close. There's a mixture. There's this, again, separating. And relationship, yes, it could be to some people. It could also be to certain situations. Hold your intentions. Be crystal clear about what you desire. Keep your boundaries, is what I'm hearing. There is something about holding your boundaries around somebody or a group of people. They're genuinely interested. I don't feel as though they are a negative influence as such. It's just that their perspective of life is not the same as yours. It's like you've outgrown them. You've grown faster than they have in some way. And we have the wonderful card of the Fool. New beginnings, launching into new horizons. It's kind of, I always think this is a bit of a dare card. It's like take a risk or forever wonder what would have happened. It's got that flavour. But to begin this reading with the Magician, to conclude this first line of cards with the Fool, starting with the Magician. Guys, this is a very powerful month of transformation where things gather momentum. Yes, there's some letting go to be done, but yeah, let go tactfully. Just hold your own, really, and hold your own internally. That's your strength. Yeah, remember, this beautiful energy of Labradorite grounds spiritual energy. It helps you to be both connected to source, connected to a greater universal knowing, while simultaneously remaining anchored. Sometimes we get big downloads of, I think, universal insight, and it feels amazing, but we also feel like we're out at sea. And this is different. This is grounding. I'm going to draw from another pack of tarot. Ooh. Okay, really interesting. Cards have just thrown themselves out, so I'm going to go with them. We have the card of the Lovers. We have the Ace of Discs, wow, sitting under the Ace of Cups. We have the card of Abundance, and we have the Magus, which in this pack is the same as the Magician. Different pack of cards, slightly different meaning, but we'll talk through that. The Lovers, this is higher levels of consciousness. For any of you looking for a relationship, this is a good month to be meeting people. For those of you working through the process of a relationship, I think you upgrade if that's the case. It's not a relationship focused reading per se. It's more offering a particular flavour of energy of transformation. But that transformation can be applied, and I'm hearing another clear message, that transformation can be applied to the manifestation of a relationship if that is what you are desiring. I mean, again, look at these cards, the Magician, the Fool, but we have the Magician, the Magus, the card of the Lovers. This is an indication in two slightly different directions, but variations of the same. So this is your transformation, your higher level of growth. So you're outgrowing people. It also means that in terms of the Ace of Cups, new beginnings, new opportunities, you can apply this phase of transformation during January to the manifestation of a relationship if that is what you desire. And that may also include upgrading, as it were, an existing relationship to a higher level of consciousness. The key somehow is within you and your own ability to navigate the negotiation. I mean, relationships are all about negotiations. The Magus in this pack says that you have very, very high levels of, you have good communication skills, high levels of an ability to speak. It also says that comes with it, or it brings with it, if you're on the pathway of the spiritual warrior anyway, it brings with it a sense of responsibility. Because if you have really good levels of communication skills, you could cut somebody down really quickly. You know, you could make a cutting comment. So it's saying to you, you have these incredible skills, use them. Connect them in with yourselves in terms of your pathway. I'm also actually hearing, I think some of you are being called to speak, which is really interesting. Some aspect of your world. Now, for some of you, it could be connecting into a relationship again, but you're being called to speak or to find a way to communicate something. For some of you, it's like a bigger picture. It's like your soul's calling. Some aspect of your work or your soul's calling at this point in time, whether that's a career or within your families, you are being called to speak, actually, because you have the skills to be able to do this with the degree of what I would call tact, diplomacy, clarity that some other people are lacking. And I think you get seen and validated for that too. Ace of Discs, for some of you, we are connecting into careers. We have the card of Abundance. However you look at this, crystal clear intentions, hold your boundaries, be clear about your own direction. It's gathering momentum. The Three of Cups in this pack, Abundance, it speaks of the emotional flow. It's like of health, I want to say, where it sometimes refers again to a few people who you're very, very close with. But it's about being able to speak from the heart. I do think some of you literally are called to speak as almost like a career move. And maybe, I mean, who knows, the energy will affect you each differently. Whether it's, managing a situation, connecting into relationships, whether it's reaching out to people, being yourself, you're very much in charge of things this month if you wish to be. That's the energy. It's like you've done so much work to get here. And I mean, big, big respect, guys, because this is really the pathway of the spiritual warrior, guys. Let's face it, it's not always an easy one, is it? And to my mind, Do you know there's such a presence here around this reading, guys? The temperature in this room has dropped. This happens to me whenever I do private readings, personal readings. But, right, it's unusual to get such a strong presence around for a general reading for a sign. Obviously, this is a Virgo reading, Sun in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, Virgo rising, or you could even be cross-watching. It's very unusual to have such a strong presence around. So, anyway, I can't necessarily douse into that because it's too generalised a reading. But I feel like, I think people who have passed over are around you. It's like you're getting a lot of support this month in some way. It's because you're very much in charge of something, or in charge of yourselves. But you've worked to get here, guys. Like I said, big respect. Yeah, you see temperature dropping again. That there's an acknowledgement. People are wanting to validate your journey and your progress. And I know that's a big generalised statement, but that is actually what I'm hearing. I'm actually going to draw from a pack that connect into the dynamics of people around you. Okay, so we have, this is interesting, very interesting again. So 5 of Earth, and then we have the card of Abundance. Make sure those are actually, yes, they all are in camera, brilliant. So guys, this card carries a dual message, which I think is really interesting, given the 7 of Swords and where we were talking about tact, diplomacy, or maybe, I did also say, maybe that somebody isn't being completely honest with you. The 5 of Earth says, make sure you know that things are as they are. It can sometimes indicate that somebody isn't being quite as direct as they ought to be. It also brings with it an invitation to ask you not to be direct in a inappropriate or tactless way, but it asks you to, it's fundamentally to be clear with yourself. It can also indicate like a win of some sort. Like a win, and it's quite interesting because we then have the card of Abundance. Now, nourishment, the Rune of Nourishment, from the worldly to the divine. This can sometimes indicate surprises, gains, rewards that we hadn't expected. And I am going to say to you guys, I also hear a message, if you do receive something unexpectedly, again, be guarded with it. Think about how you wish to use it. If you are in receipt of something, be thoughtful about that. Because when people win something, often lots of other people kind of actually hone in on that because they'd like to benefit from it. Nothing wrong with benefiting, nothing wrong with sharing, but you would need to be mindful about who you share with, okay? Because there are people in the world who aren't always as honest as we would like them to be. They home in on those kinds of, opportunities. So there's a little flavour of something going on here, guys. So with the card of Abundance, see again, this is about consciousness, conscious giving and receiving, the energy of giving and receiving. I feel as though you're needing to deal with something at some point during the month. Interestingly enough, I think it's outside of you. It's something that comes into you. I don't know when that will come in. And this is where you start to do a little bit of soul searching. Everything is moving. You're investing, you are nourishing, investing, and you are on this pathway of manifestation. It's like you're connected to your journey, even if you're not ultra clear on what it is that you desire. It's already happening. You're building that foundation from the inside out. Amazing. Something comes along during this month that causes you to need to be thoughtful, and the journeying and insights that you need, the guidance, is not from outside of you, it's from inside of you. That's also what I'm hearing really clearly. This would not be a month to go and talk to 20 different people about what they all thought. This would be a month to do a meditation and see what information you're given. It's that kind of inner journeying. But rewards, gains, everything's shifting up a level of consciousness, and you guys have worked for it. It's like things start to pay. Things start to come to you. You've been working at this stuff, rightly so. Things are starting to manifest. That's what it feels like. So big respect, guys. And on that basis, we will now draw from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, which for me is an exciting month. Well, it's an exciting month for these cards because these cards go live this month. I should just say as well, for anyone interested in any of the cards and the runes, on my website, and it's in the information box below, there is a link to a page, and every single pack of cards I ever use is there, so you can find them and identify them really, really easily. As I said, runes included. The Art of Manifestation Oracle cards are my cards. They have been... Every single message in this pack has at some point been given to me, whether through channeling, in meditation, in sittings. And in my world, there are times when I've needed really clear direction, and it's been a gift to receive that direction. And I've journaled and made notes of all of those messages, and they are on these cards. And as I said, interesting, compromise. These cards go live in January, and because it's a first limited edition, I'll be holding back just a few packs and drawing names out of a hat and giving some to some of my subscribers. It's just part of this wonderful community that we are building. But yeah, just watch this space. So for me, exciting month. And my apologies, I've digressed far too much. Compromise. Are you in a situation where you need to make a compromise, or are you compromising too much? It's definitely something you've got to negotiate this month. This card asks you to review your position and to be sure to find a solution that takes the needs of all parties into account, including yourself. Okay, this is the energy. The overall energy for you guys is different. The overall energy is gathering momentum. It's like I want to say a blip. It's just something, one of those life things that happen. Life happens, and even if we are well on our own pathway, stuff happens and we have to attend to it, and that's the sort of flavour of it. Ah, wonderful. Be your brilliant self. Be great today, be brilliant. This card asks you to get in touch with the extraordinariness of everyday living. Go about your daily life doing everything to the very best of your ability. Be extraordinary in an ordinary way. Your brilliance will radiate into the world, creating more change than you could possibly imagine. This is you journeying inwards. It's you holding your own. It's you being able to remain centred and grounded regardless of the incoming. I don't know that it's going to be huge. I can't tell because it will be different for each of you. But you are going to need to negotiate something this month. And there is this letting go in some way, this flavour. I was about to say your strength, of course, is your inner balance, and look what shows up. Restore balance. This card calls you to notice what kinds of situations, people and circumstances throw you off balance, and more importantly, what enables you to regain balance and to re-center yourself. Noticing heightens your awareness and creates an opportunity for you to become proactive in maintaining your ongoing balance and inner harmony. Oh, wow, gosh, they are leaping out. This is interesting. Take action now. This is a clear and unequivocal message that action on your part is needed now. Manifestation is not simply a process of visioning in and dreaming about your desires. When an opportunity is offered to you, you must also take action. Pay attention to the signs and move forwards fearlessly. It's a lovely card. Again, there's something about a negotiation, but I will go back to what we've said about, I think for some of you, it's something just outside of you. It's a life happening that you have to deal with. Remain centered. Don't lose sight of not only your vision, but don't lose sight of making sure you have the time to continue to invest in your own journey. I'm really hearing that clearly. And this is interesting. We have a card, dislike of others. Sometimes we form strongly negative feelings towards others. In truth, it is not them that we dislike, but their words, actions and behaviour. This card asks you to try to detach from the experience of their behaviour and see them as a soul on their own unique pathway, attempting to manage their own challenging life lessons. Guys, I am going to say whatever comes in, it does feel like it's something on the outside that you are you find yourself having to deal with it. It may, for some of you, be connected to people. As I said, it's like your growth, you've accelerated and you're moving forwards, you're gathering momentum. And people sometimes totally unconsciously try to hold us back. There's a sort of a flavour, as I said, of somebody behaving maybe in a way that isn't completely honest around you. And it's not that you're being called to be dishonest in return, you're just being called to be really mindful, to keep your boundaries and to navigate through this. You can compromise, but not at the expense of yourself. And even if somebody, it's almost like, feels like if someone comes into our world and they're needing lots and lots and lots from us, and they're not respecting our boundaries or the fact that we still have a life of our own to lead. It's sort of got that flavour to it. You're needing to keep your boundaries. You can compromise, but not at the expense of yourselves. And if somebody keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, hold your boundaries. And just remember, even though it might kind of irritate the hell out of you in some ways, I'm not saying this will be for all of you, but there's something that's going to happen in the month that might, as I said, it feels like it gets in the way, but just don't let it get in the way. Remain centered. Do everything you do to the very best of your ability. I mean, you guys, this is your energy. You do everything to the best of your ability. Sometimes you're so over the top on perfection that you actually cramp your own style, but you are really good at doing things. So, and doing things with integrity and attending to the details, which is wonderful. Whatever you've got to deal with in your own unique ways, in your own unique pathways, your energy is still in flow. The key here is remaining grounded, remaining centered, applying your amazing skills to making sure that everything is tackled from the perspective of the warrior, with, thought, intelligence, clarity, respect for all parties. And yeah, I think you will have to take action. But the action is also about maintaining your own balance and maintaining your own pathway. If you get knocked right off balance and there's too big an interruption, that's when we start to feel frustrated by people. We feel like they're holding us back, or we feel like they're stopping us from doing something. But if we recognise that we can still quietly continue on our own pathway irrespective, and we just deal with things with clear boundaries, we ourselves are still on track, which means that it doesn't flare up so many kind of our more challenging emotions towards the people who are maybe interrupting us or causing us a problem. It's got that flavour to it. So guys, a very powerful reading. Your energy is really gathering momentum in such a powerful way, and it feels very attuned at a spiritual higher level. And as I said, not everybody will be there with you guys, so yeah, you're being asked to be mindful around that. But wonderful people, so much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you for the next batch of readings. Obviously there are weekly readings that I put up every Sunday, and I'll be posting these. I am recording them now in December. So guys, actually I will be posting a very special, I've been called really clearly in a meditation to do something very different and very special on New Year's Day, so watch out for that. And yeah, so much love to you guys.